NISA is a collection of almost 20 organizations that actually have received funding from the US government in the fight against HIV.
Housed in the different implementing partners, or the partners that form this alliance, are different expertise. We have pediatricians, we have obstetricians, we have people who are internists, and all these people bring together their expertise to be able to now say, in what way can a model that has been found to be effective scaled up for the good of the public?
NISA is with the people, really looking as professionals to say, how can we impact on our system, how can we improve on our system, and how can we use the evidence we gather and then take that learning and say, quickly, let's go to school.
I was thinking, is it possible for us in Nigeria as programmers, for instance, to look at some of these beautiful frameworks and modify, adapt, or adjust one or two of them and make them our primary framework for easier comparative?
The fantastic thing about the conference was the selection of the topics, the abstracts and all that. It suggested to me that they were selected to meet some of the gaps that we had already seen in the PMTST cascade. Starting from actually encouraging women, to get tested, as demonstrated by the HS project. And then very interesting was the presentation by Management Science for Health and Pro Health, where they showed that using the local postal system helps us reduce the turnaround time for early infant diagnosis, which is one of the areas the Nigerian program has failed.
Moving the DBS sample from the remote EID site even to the state capital is a challenge.
It only reinforces the need to strengthen those interventions as a national approach towards PMTCT.
It's incredible just over the last couple of days sitting around the table and speaking with people, and they're telling you about the things you've learned, and you're like, oh, we learned that 2 years ago. But if we had just told them that, if we had a platform to share that with them 2 years ago, maybe they wouldn't have to learn it afresh. And vice versa. There are things that we're going through and people would propose a simple solution just like that because they've been through it.
The gaps that we have identified and continue to identify are very much gaps that need to be answered by implementation science. We don't need any more basic science to tell us how well to take care of women with HIV and prevent HIV infection in their babies. We have plenty of that. So what we need in NISA is not only the capacity to conduct the studies, but to carry along the government and the lawmakers who are actually going to make it a possibility at the last, that they'll be the last barrier.
It's actively bringing government and implementing partners and people from outside of the country together. So it will now be, so whatever is agreed by NISA will become like what we all agreed on. It's not like us going to talk to government. And I already see it happening in this meeting as something that is very positive.
The evidence is not coming in from Nigeria primarily. Most of the evidence are studies done from other countries and other...
We have a potentially huge problem on our hands. If funds are not provided from somewhere to fill in the gaps, if we now, with this alliance, pull resources together, pull data together to demonstrate potential impacts, potential problems that will arise from this, then we have evidence. We have evidence to say, look, this is what we have, this is where we are, this is what we need.
There has to be a meeting point, a nexus of researchers, scientists, implementers, and policymakers, where data can inform policy, and policy can address data.
I look at this year as the year that the Nigerian implementation in terms of research and being at the global thing, being at the cliff edge. And I'm happy that the kick that we are all getting is not to push us down the cliff, but to kick us back onto solid ground. They say that the best time to plant a tree is 100 years ago, but the next best time is now.
I think there is enough for us in this room to be able to organize the next 20 NISA conferences in the next 20 years.
It's better late than never. And I think in a short while we can actually gain all the lost grounds in terms of what we've all done as individuals, as organizations that we never brought together.
I'm really excited at the interest that this conference has generated, amongst the Nigerians in general. And so I am excited about where this is taking our country, and looking forward to the completion of this one. And we're already in preparation for the next one.